Yeah, I mean, the beginning obviously was just an idea. Discussing on long car rides in Shanghai. I remember with my agent Tony, and I was just always talking how little prize money the past generation was making, and how I'm so forever grateful to what they've done for our generation of players, that we can play in massive stadiums. It's pretty much sold out. Prize money is at an all-time high, and how can we thank them, and how can we preserve that, and also maybe create a weekend where we all get together. We had the best time all together. It's not for 2 weeks like we know at Grand Slams, but maybe it's just for 3 days. Make it high intensity. And it's like a brotherhood getting together. And so was the idea a little bit of the Laver Cup. It's like paying tribute for the past generation, bringing in the new generation, and then morphing it all together, Ryder Cup style a little bit, and coming up with a concept that would work throughout a weekend. And I feel like we've done a really nice job, and it's been wonderful to see the Laver Cup grow in the last 7 years.
Yeah, and so now you're 7 years in. What are the next steps to growing it further, growing the Cup a bit further?
I mean, I think honestly it's solidifying it, because there's a lot of work that goes into it, pulling it up all for just 1 3-day event. Normally if you're at a Grand Slam or a longer tournament that takes 10 days to 2.5, 3 weeks, I mean, it's really worth it, but for 3 days it takes a lot of money, and we wanted to have it really at the very high end of a fan experience as well. And same for the players, that I want them to leave here with so much memories and emotions, and especially also motivation of going back onto the tour and really kick some ass. So for me, that was the idea. Obviously the future is to solidify on that and keep growing.
And thinking longer down the line, like 10 years down the line, where would you like to see things evolve?
I mean, you obviously have options to say, like, okay, we'll do maybe, 2 years in Berlin or 3 years in Berlin, instead of going, jumping from one to the next. I don't know if you could play Grand Slam venues. Could there be a Laver Cup for women as well? But the concern at the moment is just to make sure that we have a really good product in the Laver Cup.
And you're obviously also very involved on the business side of this. Have you discussed bringing in more investors to try to bring more money in to try to scale up the Laver Cup a little bit?
I mean, things are great, So at the moment, I think the owners and everybody who's totally involved, all are very happy. Also financially, things are going well. So we're not really looking, to be honest, deeply into that. It's just making sure that we stay along the path that we were doing. And, in the beginning we had ideas that all worked out. Some things didn't work out, so we had to adjust a little bit. But for the most part, it's been going really well.
So you wouldn't need any other financing. So I'm just asking because, the Saudis, for example, brought in a lot of money. Have you spoken to them? Is that a place you might consider holding a cup in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, now we're going to San Francisco next year. Correct? Yes, I promoted that. I remember now, just because it was before Berlin, so it was a bit odd. But I was on the West Coast, and I went to the Warriors game, and that was great. And then, of course, after that we go back to Europe, and then I think we have to go. Asia, South America. We got to keep on moving and bring it to other places, not just Northern America. Europe is clear, and then obviously Middle East potentially as well. But everything's open, and no particular, discussions have taken place.
Yeah, and you alluded to this a little bit earlier. We were talking to John McEnroe about this, about the prize money and money actually getting to the athletes, because there's so much money that's going into sports right now. So how did you sort of bring that into your construction, your architecture for the Laver Cup, to try to make sure to deal with that coming, obviously from the other side of it, as you are as an athlete?
I mean, as an organizer, you wish they played for free, because you always hope that they play for the beauty of the game, Right. But I also realize that this is not really feasible, But the Ryder Cup, obviously, in many ways, is an inspiration as well to us. But they have a 90-year head start, So that's why if they don't get paid there, it's another situation. So I wanted to make sure that it's at a very fair level, but at the same time that they really are very proud to represent their region or their country as well in the Laver Cup. And I feel like we've done really well. I don't think the players are not playing because of money purposes. I think we also try to create a concept that they don't leave after the weekend completely, tired, and that they need like a 2-week holiday. So it's something you can actually easily plan within the calendar, because I've also been aware of the scheduling issues we have sometimes in tennis. So that's why I said, how about if we do just something for 3 days that we know that the players can absolutely handle.
So I'd like to also understand, obviously, because you're involved in a lot of things, whether it's on running, whether it's a Laver Cup, kind of where you're spending your time proportionally with
No day is ever the same.
Yeah.
I have 4 children as well, so that takes probably the biggest bulk of my time is making sure I'm a good dad, good husband. You know, we spend a lot of time in Switzerland nowadays. But it's true, you know, takes a lot of my time, making sure we look into the future and see how we can grow the brand. And it's been like an incredible partnership for me as well. I'm still a brand ambassador to many of the brands. I just came from a Rolex event in Switzerland. Now here I'm at the Laver Cup. Laver Cup's obviously high intensity for a week, but there goes a lot.
And it's got a partnership with On as well. Could you expand those partnerships? You see that kind of going out further in tennis?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, tennis is gotten really important, you know, for On. You know, they signed Iga Swiatek, right, number 1 player, maybe the most exciting, you know, player on the tour right now, and Ben Shelton as well, and also Joao Fonseca. So they're really doubling down and going into tennis, which obviously makes me very happy. So same as what Rolex did many years ago.
You've been very successful in your investments and business. What advice do you give to Rafael Nadal for his investments in retirement?
I know he does a lot of investments, actually. I was surprised how much he was doing when I went to visit his academy in Mallorca, which, by the way, is incredible. If you haven't seen it yet, you should go have a look at it. It's a wonderful academy, and I think it's great what he's doing. And he's telling me about a lot of investments he was doing off to the side, you know, so which I think is exciting to see that he's not only, you know, into forehand and backhands, but he also cares about investments, and maybe, who knows, down the road we can do something together as well.